He breaks a lot of tackles. He's a thick runner, kind of top heavy where his legs are kind of thin. He's got a really choppy running style, really short, choppy steps. I was talking to Matt Waldman about it yesterday, and he threw a comp out there that I really liked, and that was Ricky Williams. He's kind of got that short, choppy steps, but he's a load to tackle. He's very tough to tackle, and he can obviously catch the ball out of the backfield. He's the type of guy where if a throws to the flats and that quarterback leads him inside a little bit, he can turn from the boundary, looking over his outside shoulder, and turn his whole body around, catch it, and still get upfield. So he's a pretty good body positioning on catches like that. But he's just a big guy, and he's very tough to tackle. And I'll try to highlight some of the things I like about him on some of these runs. And with the game he had against Arizona, I'm sure we'll see some of the traits that I saw on film, because I've watched already like 5 or 6 games already. And some of the things that he does that I like, I'll try to point out in this film. So let's go ahead and get started on this. He's from the dot, all right? So from the dot means obviously behind the center, and it's something that he did a lot of. If you go back to my timeline yesterday when I was researching some of his stats, he took a lot of his runs, his handoffs from under center, which, you know, a lot of teams are doing that nowadays. The Niners, the Vikings, there are a lot of teams that run primarily from under center, and this is another one of those plays right off the bat, and I think it's an explosive play too. You see right here, he busted off outside to the left-hand side, breaks a tackle. And one thing when you're watching running backs I want you to pay attention to is that offhand. If the ball's in his left hand, what's he doing with his right? And you can see that play here. You see that play into this, because it's something that I like him. I don't think he's the best at it, but see right there, delivers a blow to that DB. Look where he's striking. Kind of gets a piece of the face mask, but he gets that shoulder. And obviously, you can't make a tackle if you don't have the shoulder and arms coming through. And so he stuns him. Basically, stuns him right there, shocks him to the ground, and now he's off to the races. And his speed's pretty good. I mean, he's that quicker than fast type of guy, but when he does hit that gear, you see it. Now, he's not the fastest guy. He's not going to accelerate because you really like, but if you can break tackles like he does like that, I mean, that's the type of skill that, you know, translates to NFL. You know, you got to be able to break tackles, and then you're always going to see him finish like at the end of that run. You know, they're in Arizona's territory, do a lot of shifting as well. And here's a gap run to Moss, and look, he's just gashing them right off the bat. So, I mean, he's really setting the tone, and he's that kind of guy. It looks like there was a flag on that play. Yeah, unnecessary roughness. That was stupid. But even a play that doesn't count like this, really, you can still evaluate the player, right? So these are the type of things you want to pay attention to. You got that left guard pulling. You want to watch where his footwork is and where he's headed, all right? So it looks like on their power plays, he's just taking a little sidestep, and he's aiming probably right for the A-gap. A lot of coaches teach that A-gap power run. You see that here. And now you just want to watch the second level, because you're going to see the first level get taken care of. But you want to watch these linebackers scraping over the top. And even though this post is right here, you want to see how he reacts to that and how he sets up his blocks. And he's got some pretty good blocking here. And the other thing is, with Moss, one thing I notice is it seems like he takes forever behind the line of scrimmage because his footwork is very slow. It's one of those things that it seems like he's behind the line of scrimmage a lot longer than he really is. And short, choppy steps, like he doesn't even look like he's running 50%. He's almost like coasting, right? But he gets to the hole, and when he does get to the hole, you see some good blocking there, and then the finish. You see him get behind his pads, lower them, and cover the ball, prepare for contact. And, you know, when you have to tackle this guy 25 times a game, by the fourth quarter, those runs are breaking off. He's breaking those runs. So that's something to keep in mind with a big back like him. And if you're thinking about it from the Bills' perspective, getting a guy like him to pair up with Devin Singletary, who's more of a finesse guy, an elusive guy, not a power guy, it's a pretty good mix. Now, I don't know if they really like him like that, but I mean, you think about complementary backs. Zack Moss is a pretty good complementary back, and he runs from under center a lot, which is something that Devin Singletary did really well last year. I think he averaged 5.8 yards per attempt when he was taking the handoff from the dot from under center, which is surprising because at Florida Atlantic, he took a lot of snaps, a lot of handoffs from the shotgun. So here's a play. You can see Moss at the top of the screen, just running a little option route to the boundary. Again, it's nothing special. He's got a lot of room because that linebacker drops and undercuts the number one receiver to the top of the screen. But how's he catching it? With his hands, right? I mean, it's really, really good placement. He's catching it with his hands. He's framing it, turning upfield, and trying to break the tackle there. Now they're trying to get some of that yardage back from that dumb penalty on that last down, but it's one of those things. Again, watch his hands. You'd see him frame it and immediately turn upfield. Really good tackle in open field, honestly. If he doesn't make that tackle, I think Moss, obviously could probably get to that first down because he's going to break the tackle that DB more times than not. All right, so now it's third and 9. I'm sorry, 2x2 set, pass pro. Okay, this was not a good pass pro rep. Honestly, on film, Moss actually had some decent pass pro reps, but you're going to lose some. And it looks like this game gets a little chippy right off the bat. So, okay, let's see if we can pick up what went wrong here. It looks like Moss, you can see, you got to kind of pay attention to their helmets. The slightest, he's looking inside, so it looks like it's a 5-man protection with the running back inserting chip release, and he's going to pick up that insert linebacker right there. And it's not bad. You'd like to see him square him up a little more. You see him take him on an angle, which more times than not, when that linebacker is coming from depth, and if you're not squaring him up, he's gonna shave that corner. He's gonna break off that edge, and this time he just uses some physicality. I like Zach's pad level. It's just one of those things. He's got to stick with it. Good contact initially, but you can see he's thrown off balance because he's not squared up. He's almost, think about it like he's kick sliding to his right here. All his weight's being shifted left to right there on contact, and so he can't maintain his balance. He's blown up, and the defender go ahead and makes the sack. 3x1 set to the bottom of the screen, and they're just running, looks like inside zone. And again, just watch the speed that he takes these inside zone handoffs. It's really slow. He's almost walking. Again, I wish I could figure out the time behind the line of scrimmage, which is a next-gen stat, because I feel like he would be up there. Frank Gore was one of the best last year. Singletary, I think, was right around average, but you can see just almost like he's tiptoeing behind the line of scrimmage. So watch the center, watch the left guard exchange. So how is he reading that? You see that he does a good job right there of reading that. And, that patience behind the line of scrimmage does play into this. It allows that initial combo block to take place, and then they scoop to the second level. But you see, even as this backside defender right here scrapes over the top, and he's got a full head of steam, and Moss doesn't, obviously. He's just trying to get skinny through this hole. Watch what that does, and look at Moss's pad level. It's kind of high as he's cutting through that hole. Watch that defender when he hits Moss. Moss just redirects it. It's not really affecting him. It's a good tackle. It's a good job of wrapping up, but you see that you got to really bring it when you tackle this guy. But these inside runs, man, he's going to get some dirty yardage, and that's what you see here. It looks like they have to the tight end to the left. You're going to see just a backside puller. And the left tackle does a good job of prying that hole open right there. See 77, pry that hole open. Nice torque. And then here comes the guard and the tight end. And Moss hugs it and just gets upfield, lowers his shoulder. And, again, he's going to carry a few guys with him. I don't think they really bit too much on that orbit reverse. Is anyone really following this right here? Doesn't look like it. Looks like actually it was a good read from the defense here. And they may have even been running a run blitz or a run stunt, because watch this defender right here. Although he's in a 4-eye inside this tackle, watch what he does post-snap. He's shooting inside into that A-gap. So that means this guy's probably coming. And, yeah, that guy blows that play up. So that was definitely some kind of run stunt. And, I mean, Moss does a good job of breaking that tackle. See how his balances are there. Very good right there. That's good play speed. I mean, he just gets the handoff. He's immediately got to make a move. And you can see him breaking as soon as he gets that handoff. Look at him leave his feet to set up that jump cut right there. So he saw that probably pretty soon right after the snap. And look at all of the traffic that's coming into his face. You got the tight end coming across the formation, that split flow, and he's got to process that coming across his face, keep his eyes on his reads, and break this tackle right there. Good job of jumping off of that, but obviously if you're going to bounce it wide, you can see all the pursuit from Arizona. You got Contain out here, you got a forced defender, and then you got all these other defenders right here working to him. But you see him get square. Okay, I'm not going to really do much going out wide here. He's looking out here to this defender. Get square, get downhill, and now watch his pad level. And what is he doing? He's protecting the ball. He's dropping his pads, and lowest man wins, right? I mean, look at that defender. That defender drops his pads, drops his helmet as well. But Moss is still driving. Watch his feet. I mean, they have to wrap him up. Look how many guys are wrapping this guy up. He's not easy to bring down. There's, what, 3 or 4 guys on him? Everyone grab a leg. I mean, that's the type of running back he is. Tough to bring down. Again, they run a lot of jet. There's a fake little eye candy crack toss. Nice spin move. He's got a really nice spin move for a big guy. All right, so here comes the eye candy across the formation. And it does catch the eye of this defender right here, and even this defender number 1. You got the crack back right here, the crack block by 45. Set that edge. Moss gets it, but they don't have a +1 out there. They have a hat on a hat out here, but it's Moss versus this defender. Although it held him just a little bit, it's got a pretty good angle on him. Moss uses the spin move. And that's what's great about his spin move. He does drop his pad level. He drops his hips. You see the spin move right there. But what does he do? He knows. He knows that another defender's coming. So as soon as he finishes that spin move, guess what? My pads are down. And I want you to watch as we go forward, because one thing I really like with him is when he breaks tackles, when he goes to drop those pads, watch that offhand. I said watch the offhand at the beginning because he uses it almost as like a pry. He uses it to absorb the hits from defenders, kind of like on this play, although he doesn't break the tackle here. He uses it to absorb blows and then pry upward with it to break arm tackles. And again, he doesn't do it here, but it's something to watch as we go forward. That offhand when tacklers are breaking down to come in and make the tackle on them. Just looks like an outside zone here. Good read to bang it up inside, not really bounce it. Yeah, it looks like the defensive alignment was all off. So on these outside zones, he's aiming usually for a yard or 2 outside the tight end here. And his first read, usually pre-snap, is if there's a defender out wide, kind of like this guy, on the line of scrimmage, it's going to hit up inside. And so you see that guy take the edge away. So his eyes need to go inside here, and they do. And he hits it up in that hole, hits it right in that, C gap or so. But it doesn't end there, right? So he presses the block. He's trying to set up this block by the tackle. Tackle whiffs on that. But he's got all of his momentum going forward. So he breaks that arm tackle by the inside defender. Number 7's been making some plays early on in this game. Good tackle here. But again, he's falling forward. I mean, it doesn't seem like much. When you think about it, he gained, 5-6 yards on this play? Maybe even more on first down. All right, so now we're just running to the weak side here. You're going to have that right guard pulling. It's almost like a counter. You got the offline tight end, little H-back coming across too. So you got a guard and a H-back coming across. And he does a good job of slow playing it here. Obviously, he's not going to bounce here. He's seeing that this guy's got outside leverage. And based on how this guy arcs inside here, that guard has to decide to wall him off like this and kick him out, or wrap around him and let the running back bounce it. But good decision to wall him off, kick him out here. You got a defender out here. So Moss is obviously setting up to go inside. He just got to press the line of scrimmage and does a good job of getting upfield on that play. Look at him just find that crease. Looks like another outside zone. Really good block by the guard here. He folds over the top, kicks him out. Tackle moves to the second level, gets a little pancake. Here's the tight end across the formation. Now again, he's aiming outside here. And I mean, it looks like you could see both of these defenders, they're kind of overplaying that here. So it's a pretty easy cut. You just got to beat the backside pursuit by this defender right here. Number 7 did a good job of scraping over top, staying ahead of the blocks, but he does get pancaked here as Moss cuts back. But again, let's look at his cuts. Let's look at his footwork because he does a good job of cutting it back here. Now, they're not the sharpest cuts. He's good at avoiding trash at his feet, but his cuts aren't sharp. And a guy with his size and thickness, that's not surprising. But again, his lean is good. You see as he makes that cut, you know, if he's taking any contact, he's going to have pretty good lean. He's going to really absorb that blow and still get upfield. Left tackle again, really good job of prying that run stunt, that slant inside open. And now Moss is just getting up inside. So now, can you make the case as 55 is coming around here? All right, there becomes a decision-making breaking point. All right, right here is Moss is thinking, should I be cutting it up inside here or could I bounce it outside here? Look where the helmet of that guard goes. So he is trying to obviously take him down inside. Now maybe Moss saw this corner out here or this defender out here to the left, which is why he just took it up inside. 2nd and 2. I mean, it's not like it was I need to get upfield and get the first down type of situation. But here's a breaking point right here when you're looking at the guy's vision, when you're looking at his decision making. I mean, I understand like this is a nice alleyway, but the read of this block, the way it was set up, the width that this guard took, and just his helmet, it looks like he wants to take him inside. So it looks like he's trying to set him up in here. Moss takes the quickest escape route, and that's up inside. Not a bad decision. He's moving the chains, and he does drag the guy, number 7 right there. But I mean, it's one of those plays. Like he could have bounced it there, which is not something he does a lot of. So, and that's not always a bad thing. But could he have had an explosive play by bouncing it wide there, and maybe going one-on-one with a corner versus one-on-one with number 7, a linebacker? And you never know. I thought there was a flag on that play. So again, his runs are not always pretty, but he gets skinny through the hole and he's just breaking arm tackles and just shuffling forward for, you know, decent chunky yardage. And this just looks like duo, so everyone just blocking down. So everyone just kind of wash everyone down. And normally you're reading a mic here, but then the mic would be right here. Where you can see everyone's getting washed down. And he has 2 guys right in the hole, so that's why he cuts it back. And really nice side shuffle right there. This little side cut right here. I'm surprised he saw him. Because as that tight end washes him down, that defender retraces, spins back inside. Almost make a play on Moss. So Moss cuts it back. That's good vision right there. You see that? That's really good vision. Cuts it back to his left. Doesn't cover a lot of ground, but he breaks that arm tackle. And then now he's just protecting the ball, driving forward, finds an opening. And again, he's closer to the goal line. So you see this a lot. Singletary did a really good job of this last year. Sometimes that play fake is pretty weak. Sometimes they won't even do it, kind of like here, because that running back is accountable for obviously a rusher off the edge, an insert rusher. You see 31 do that, but he does call it off, and then he's trying to get out to the flats there. So although he doesn't block there, at least he's aware of that. So that's something you note You know, he's cognizant of second level edge rushers, late rushers off the edge, on play action passes. I mean, that's something that is really important on Sundays. You know, being able to pick up a blitz even when you have a certain assignment, and you know you have that leeway to call that play action fake off as a running back when they send an extra blitzer. You can see these the Arizona front, they look a little light, and they're not matching the physicality of Moss in this offensive line. Nice little bang block here by the center. Feeds him over to the guard, and then he picks up the inside backer. And here's Moss lowering his pads. You see, like, he even still gets another yard or two on contact. So it looks like outside zone. Get that linebacker number 7. Watch him fast flow to the ball here. Now look at Moss's eyes. Right there, he sees him, and you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders out wide. They're over pursuing. There's a nice little cutback lane, right? So puts his foot in the ground. And again, it takes him a second to reset, but he makes that defender miss, and he's upfield. And immediately, once he cuts back, he knows he's one-on-one with another defender. Little cut back inside there. Nothing explosive, but it's effective. You see him cover the ball as he cuts back upfield. Skirts by that arm tackle, and then he's lowering his helmet and pads and finishing that run. He's a good finisher. Duo run, and he sees this gap right here. You'll see what happens over here off the right-hand side of the screen is these guys run a little exchange, and number 8 off the edge blows that play up because there is a hole there, but that's just a good tackle. Seems like all right, so first down, another little counter. Oh, man, I thought he was going to fumble it there. There we go. Gets into the third level. Take a look at it from the tight camera angle. So he's got the backside guard, tight end pulling. And again, see, there are different types of jabs or counter plays. Some of them are meant to bounce outside. Some of them are meant to, you know, get up field in those A or B gaps. With Moss, he's more of an inside runner, so they choose to run it inside. So they want all these defenders as you know, the guard is pulling, as the tight end is coming across formation. They want everyone to fast flow out here. They want them to set that edge so they can get up inside here. And especially when you're playing an odd front team like this, you're gonna see this right guard. I mean, he really feeds that block there and then climbs to the second level, seals that alley, and this is really good blocking here. So now you're getting Moss into the second level. Got a hat on a hat. Got the guard kicking out one. Here comes the tight end sealing that inside. Sealing that lane right there. And then Moss gets into the third level. And it's a slow motion spin move, and I don't think it was honestly even necessary, but it does, how he slows up right here, it does get that defender to have to break down and stop from full speed basically. And I mean, that's just an arm tackle. Again, watch that offhand. I know it's hard to see with the post there, but he keeps that guy at a distance with his left hand as he's spinning around there. But as he's finishing that spin move, he throws another spin around with there. Probably one too many. Probably should have just lowered his pads because that's a DB. You're going with a finesse move versus a guy you could probably just plow over. So one too many spins there, but his spin move's pretty good. All right, he's back in. There's another pull. I mean, he gets blown up there. You see him. That's the kind of fighting you want to see. I mean, you don't want him losing yardage, but you see him step out of this initial tackle. He really stands no chance. But really good contact balance there. Slips out of it. And then you see him. It's not like he spins up this way, right? He spins actually back to his right. We're going to break those tackles. So, yeah, he's losing 4, 5, 6 yards here. But you see him fighting. That's a competitive toughness you want. That's the physicality you want in a running back. He's not just going to go down and and you know, move on to the next play. No, he's going to do everything in his power to get back to that line of scrimmage. You see, he does a decent job of doing that. And look, he's carrying guys. I mean, the ball spotted right around here, right around the 23-yard line. Does he make it back to the line of scrimmage after all this nonsense? Yeah, I'd say it's pretty close. It's pretty freaking close. It's a tough tackle. And I don't know how he felt that other defender not attacking the upfield shoulder, so he spins it back to his right. That's nuts. 2nd and 3. Now you should hand it off. No, weak side around there. Oh my goodness. When we talk about contact balance, I mean, this is a weak side run. Really not too. Oh, there's a nice little lane right there. He's got one-on-one with a defender. Again, drops those pads on there. Look at that. Spins out of it. Keeps those legs moving. So right now, he's one-on-one with that defender. That defender gets pretty low. I mean, pretty much drops to his knees. So he does lose some of the power. He's absorbing that blow. And that offhand, I mean, he just drops it. It's right into the guy's helmet. Right there. And it spins out of it. You see him kind of push off with it. And look what it does to that defender. Spins out of it. And he gets upfield. And, I mean, after that spin, you see him. He's still breaking tackles. That little gallop right there. I mean, look at him. Those arm tackles are not going to bring him down. I mean, that spin obviously changed the angle of this defender to the ball. And when that happens, if they're not squaring him up and they're not wrapping him up, look, that arm tackle is not bringing him down. Breaks that. Falls forward. You see, he's not really running 50, 60, 70% when he's receiving this. I mean, I'm not sure if that's really his thing or if it's, you know, the tempo, the offense. Based on some of the backup running backs, that you can see the clear difference in speed. But he does spend a lot of time behind the line of scrimmage, and maybe that's because he's diagnosing the defense. But sometimes it gets him in trouble, especially because he doesn't have the speed to make up. If he misreads a run, if he misreads a block, he doesn't have the speed to make up for it. You know, that acceleration to make up for it, I should say. I mean, like on this play, I mean, he should be hitting it. He should be hitting it right now. Takes a second to get there. He's a little hesitation right there. He's trying to hold. I think he's trying to hold his defender in the hole right here. But if he just hits his full speed, by the time he gets the contact right there, I think he's breaking that tackle and he's still running. Does a decent job of working through traffic. This is very difficult. I know this looks easy and this is not a play you'd think you'd be really paying attention to or grabbing, but after a play action pass, think about it. When you're faking a run to the running back here, usually you're going to have guys coming downhill. You're going to have running lanes being restricted by these defensive linemen and linebackers coming downhill. How does a guy work through that traffic? And I know there's a really decent hole here, but these are things you need to pay attention to. How does he skirt through traffic here and become an option for his quarterback? You know, this is obviously a play that's meant to go down the field. If that's not there, you got to be an outlet for your quarterback, and he is. Catches the ball, and I mean, this is just easy yardage, right? Just get to the flats. We saw this play earlier, just a high-low. Bills run this play so much with Singletary and Knox. Usually Knox is running the corner here, and you'll have an option route by Singletary. And you can see, I mean, where the running back is kind of lined up is like right behind the tackle. I mean, that's a little wider than usual. But usually Singletary is getting out here, and based on this underneath defender, if he carries like this, he's running out. If that guy squats, he's running out. If he expands, I don't know, into the seam, you're going to see Singletary kind of hook it up here. Think about James White and Gronkowski and what the Patriots do. I mean, this is a play they use a lot in the red zone, and the Bills obviously brought that over with Dable. But as you can see, another decent hands catch from Moss, but he does run out of real estate. There you go, gets outside there. Decent game, but that was a pretty big hole right there. Take a look at it again. Yeah, that's just good blocking. I mean, I wonder if they call the hold. Nope. So this looks like inside zone. So you can take a little shuffle step, crossover downhill. Nice play by 55, prying that hole open. Well, you'd like to see at this point, like, get upfield, man. Just get upfield. Don't go outside. Obviously, this guy's playing outside leverage. Cut up inside. You're not going to outrun defenders here. Like, just get upfield. He tries to do it too late. Just get upfield, run through those tackles. Trips to the left here. Outside zone. Good read. This guy's outside. Move on to the next read. This guy right here, he's outside. Get it up inside. And get what you can. A lot of times, I don't like outside zone for a guy like him. And you got to think about this. This outside zone is actually meant to cut up inside. It's not meant to bounce it wide. But I saw in some of the earlier games that I cut up, defenses were taking away the inside stuff on outside zone, making him bounce it, and he's not going to get that corner that often unless it's like totally blocked up perfectly. And he has green because it's going to take him some time to get outside with his speed. But this is a typical outside zone run where you cut up inside and get that 5 to 7 yards. Really nice cut here. And there he is, lowering his pads and just delivering some blows. Looks like there's some kind of flag on this play. I don't know if it was on 71, maybe right there, 71, they called a hold. Run a lot of two, just a little, split zone. The offensive line is zone blocking to the right side of the screen here. He's just crossing over and getting downhill, and he's got an easy lane there. But again, you see him hesitate. Like, his eyes are up and he's reading that. There's no read here. The decision's made for you already. Hit that hole. I mean, you're going to take what you can get on inside zone. You shouldn't be taking this long to make that decision. There shouldn't be that little pause step, especially because that number 90, if he even sees him, yes, he's scraping over the top, he's twisting over the top, but he should be hitting this hole. He still delivers a blow. That's the thing. Again, he still delivers that blow and gets decent yardage, but how many more yards could he have had on that play if he wasn't indecisive? There you go, gets the corner on that one. All right, so we get to see him open it up a little bit, right? It's like a wide zone run from gun. Maybe it was just inside zone that he bounced it. But you get to see some of his speed here. Not too bad. Be interesting to see what he can run. But obviously his play speed is pretty good. Let's see here. Yeah, once this defender right here falls over the top here, they have the edge. I mean, that's just too easy. So this is just looks like inside zone, a little split zone with the tight end coming across the formation. And you do see that hesitation still, right? Like he's still gauging. Like, I don't know if he's gauging number 7 here, or this defender is being blocked. But I mean, I don't know. It's not really necessary. If he just takes the normal tempo of the run, I think it'd be fine. But when he does decide to accelerate, okay, he's hitting top speed, but he's bringing the pain with him there. Boom. He has a good feel for like when to spin or where to spin, like what side to spin to. that as that defender's coming across his face from left to right, he knows how that defender has to break down, and I know the lineman kind of gets a piece of him there. But you see, he spins to the proper side there, and then he's just trying to get some more yardage there. Little screen, something that he does pretty well. Again, you see, this is, I mean, it seems pretty simple, but he's catching the ball, putting his body in position to get upfield. Now he can survey the field ahead of him. And the play is actually blown up it's defended pretty well. Really aggressive defender right there. Number 1 beats the block. But he does keep his balance here. And that's just a really good play by a defender, minimizing that play. Now the crack toss off the jet. It looks like they threw a flag. So look at him leave his feet here. This is one of those things like, no! How does he handle it, though? 7's in on him. I mean, that's pretty good balance. I mean, he's getting squared up in the jump right there. Oop. Resets. And look at him fight. So even if this play doesn't count, I mean, look at that fight. He knows where that first down marker is. He's trying to get to it. Look at him. I mean, how many guys does it take to bring him down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's a couple on the ground right there. So, I mean, that's a pretty good fight. Again, you're trying to find someone to complement Singletary. This is a guy that would go really well with him. I know fans are looking for the speedster, guys that can hit the home run. I get it. But in the end, I mean, you just need, you need guys that can break tackles, that can get yards, get those dirty yards. Look at him. Look at his feet. Just throws him to the side. And look at him. He's still driving. Look at the legs. You can see his legs churning still. Gotta wrap him up. So another easy read on the outside zone. Oh, man, that right tackle. Or is it the guard there? Looks like the guard. Nice job of prying that hole open again. Quick read here. Gets upfield. There is a little dance right there to avoid the feet. I don't know. He still breaks and gets another yard or two, but well. It's just like the inside zone. Now this is what you want to see. Okay, one-on-one. Eyes are in the hole. He's reading this mic right here. All right. Sets him into the hole and then accelerates outside. Is there a flag on the play? Doesn't matter. I mean, this is the type of acceleration you want to see. You don't see enough of this on film, especially when we're talking about him bouncing. Boom. He's decisive. He presses the line of scrimmage, and then he accelerates outside. That's what you want to see. Him and number 7 went at it this game. Good run. Good guard.